Hello and welcome back to Charlie's Last Chance to Beat Obesity, which is Charlie Walduck's slimming, obesity, dieting and weight loss channel.
I'm Charlie.
And I'm Mark. Charlie, what have we got for today?
What are you laughing at?
I'm laughing because he's forgot to put his tooth in.
Oh yes, so let's tackle the elephant in the room first. A couple of years ago, I had an accident with a sausage roll.
Relax, let it go. We can hear you lisp. Come on, just talk normally.
My tooth came out.
Don't try and cover it up.
And I went to the dentist and had a new little tooth put in. Anyway, I've lost it.
You left the house without it. You had a bit of a disastrous morning, haven't you?
I've got my underpants run back to front and everything. I've had a right bad day.
Too much information. What have we got for today?
A woman fell on me.
A woman fell on you, yeah. Well, some people pay extra for that, don't they? Right. What have we got for today,
Well,
Charlie?
we're going to do the results. We're going to do the results in a moment. This week we're not doing any cooking.
Oh dear.
No cooking this week. But our pilchard pie had such a good response.
It's gone down an absolute storm, hasn't
Your
it?
mum was cooking it.
She's
today.
making it today, my mum, and I've got several other friends who've made it as well.
Yeah,
and said it was wonderful.
I've got other people who say that they're going to try it as well. I was telling my friend Beryl all about it, and she said she's going to even have a go at making it.
Brilliant. Well, that was a result, and I've still got a couple of portions in the freezer, so I've got some more to look forward
Excellent.
to. So apart from the results, what else are we doing today?
So we're going to talk about, now we've made a video, but it's not out yet, but it will be out soon, so watch out for it. All about some shopping tips.
Some shopping tips, yeah.
Oh, don't.
Yeah, carry on. We've got some shopping tips.
It's not funny, you know.
It is, it's hilarious.
So we've got some shopping tips to come.
Right.
Okay, but we're going to do some...
We're going to do
cooking.
Some cooking tips.
Some cooking tips.
Cooking tips.
So little tips while you're in the kitchen doing your cooking to cut down on the calories.
Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to think up the ideas and write them down.
We are.
So this is going to be like a first thoughts exercise, but we might not get every idea down on a piece of paper. So if you think of any cooking tips, weight loss cooking tips that we don't think of, what can they do?
Well, you can comment below.
That's
or
it.
you could even send us a video with your little tips.
Brilliant,
and we'll put them on the video.
We'll put your tips in the next
video.
Right, should we have the results?
Yes, let's. So here are the results.
Here are the results.
Here are the results from the Failswood jury. So this week, steps 5,321.
5,321 on average per day, which is 321 above your target of 5,000.
Correct.
So once again, you've well exceeded your step target.
Well exceeded it. Thank you. In terms of the calories,
You have a calorie cap.
Yeah, which is 2,000, and this week I've done on average 1,533.
Wow, that's very, very low, 1,500.
I had a couple of quite low days because I forgot to take someone into work for my tea.
All right.
The other day.
Okay, so that's...
So somebody popped to the shop and got me something.
Right.
But that's all I had all day. So
Right, okay.
yeah. So I shouldn't have done it that way really, but
1,500 on average a day. You're still feeling energetic? You're still happy, positive?
Yeah, fine.
Tell me about your moods.
I have been a bit down this week. I don't know whether it's the...
What do you put it down to?
It might be the weather. It might be the news as well. Have you noticed you put the TV on and it's all depressing?
Oh.
It's horrible.
Tell me about it.
It's just this
Dirty
is
drags you
happening
down,
and that's
doesn't it?
happening.
What can you do about that? I mean, what can you do about externals that bring you down?
Turn the news off.
Turn the news off.
Start. Don't go on social media.
Try and keep off
avoid social media because that drags you down. And surround yourself with. We could do a video about this. Surround yourself with positive people. If you've got people in your life that are dragging you down, you need to get rid of those
Right,
people.
how about this? Let's do a video on positivity and how to stay positive. And if you could all comment on your ideas, we will put everyone else's ideas in that. We'll nick everyone's ideas, basically.
Yeah.
And we'll give people credit in the video.
Yeah.
And we'll do a video on how to keep a positive mindset.
We will.
Because it's something we all struggle with. I've struggled with it, as you know. I'm always moaning at you. So we've done your steps.
You do more than a lot.
We've done your steps. We've done your calories. You're over your step target. You're under your calorie cap. Now, what have you lost this week?
I've put 5 stone on. No, I haven't. I'm joking. Someone will say, yeah, we can tell. I've lost £3.
Right, so hang a minute. Don't just throw that away. Because that's £3 is quite a big loss in a week, isn't it? You've lost £3 in a week. Right, what's the total so far?
So the start weight was 32 stone and £5.
Right.
Write it down, yes. The weight now is 29 stone and £5.
Which means you've lost 3 stone.
I've lost 3 stone.
And how many weeks has it taken you to lose 3 stone?
10 weeks.
Right, we've got into a bit of a routine where we do the results and then we talk about what we're going to do next. But I want to stop. I'm going to interrupt you.
But can I just say, for the people that are watching based in the US, they don't know what stone is. So that's £42.
£42, right. So that's important information if you're across the water. But what I was going to say is we've got into this routine of just kind of breezing over these results. Well, I want to just say stop and let's just look at that for a minute, because 10 weeks ago I walked down a canal with you and we sat on a lock and we talked about whether you could succeed on this journey, and you said probably, and you were concerned about things going, pear-shaped. Isn't that amazing? 3 stone off in 10 weeks. And I want to say to you, who's responsible for that?
Well, me.
And how have you done it?
Eating less, done a little bit more walking, a bit more exercise, and kept myself focused. As I've said all along, it is going to be a long journey. I am still extremely overweight. I am still suffering with my bad legs, but hopefully, I'll keep going, and that 3 stone will turn into 4 stone, to 5 stone.
Just bloody well done, Charles. Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Just well done. It's incredible. That is 3 stone of fat gone off your body in 10 weeks because you stuck at it. And I'm just amazed and delighted. And you can do that every 10 weeks. You get subsidised flights because of where you work for an airline. And so does my husband, so I can benefit. We can go on an aeroplane together and go and visit somewhere in another country. If you just carry on, and you will do, and it's brilliant, it's wonderful. That £42 in 10 weeks. That's 4 points.
I don't think I'd go on an aeroplane at the moment. If I sat at the back, I'd probably end up on the moon.
So are we going to do the brainstorm now?
Yeah, shall we?
Yeah.
And this is about
cooking
tips.
This is cooking tips.
Yeah.
To help you to cut calories or cut fat, or what's the objective of these cooking tips?
When we did the video about the swaps, it's similar to that. How can you save calories?
So it's about saving calories. This is cooking tips to save calories.
For instance, and this can be number 1. We can put this down. This might not be 10. It might be 20. It might be less than that.
Right.
But number 1, something that we've picked up on the last few weeks. You have a tendency when cooking things in a pan to put some oil in there, and there isn't always a need to put oil in. You do not often need to put oil in there. There's often enough fat in the thing that you're frying or cooking to cook its own juices, rather than putting extra oil in.
Right, so use no oil. And another thing I do, one of the things that allows you to do that is if you get non-stick pans.
Yes.
Because you don't necessarily need oil, and the heat from the pan renders down the fat in the product that you're cooking, and that oils the pan itself. So let's put down non-stick pans.
Yeah. And if you're going to use some oil, why don't you try, you can get this 1 calorie fry light, I think it's called.
1 calorie fry light spray. It's a spray on thing, yeah.
And if anyone's watching this and think, oh, that's a bit expensive, that if you go to somewhere like Home Bargains, you can get it really quite cheap.
Right, okay, so that's a good tip. And also, I suppose the other thing is if you are going to use some oil, either measure how much you put in or use it sparingly rather than just glugging. I have a tendency to just glug it in there.
Yeah.
You know, so measure your oil, yeah? Okay?
Yeah.
Fantastic. We've already got 4 tips. Now, I was thinking about the different types of meat you can buy, and I know that some meats have more fat in than others.
Yeah.
Can you remember which meat had the lowest fat?
I think meats like kangaroo and venison,
Right,
and ostrich.
And you don't see many of them around here, if I'm honest with you, but kangaroo, venison and ostrich.
Yeah.
So basically what we're saying is
Turkey.
be selective about...
Birds. Oh, kangaroo's not a bird, is it?
No.
Venison's not a bird, is it?
I don't think so. Not that I'm aware of. Right, so what
Hold on. You can get a flying reindeer.
Yeah, like especially this time of year. So let's say be selective about your meats.
Yeah.
Because if you check the packaging, you can find out which are more fat. And I know that if you buy like a fillet steak, it's got much less fat in than a ribeye steak. And if you buy, you can choose different minces, can't you? From 20% fat down to 5%.
Try not to mince, but yes.
Be selective about your meats.
Well, on that point then, if you're going to buy something that's got visible fat on, cut it off.
Cut off visible fat. I think we'll type all these up, by the way, in the box below.
Yeah.
Cut off visible fat, right? Yeah.
You know, if you're having chicken, roast chicken for your Sunday dinner, they say take the skin off, don't they?
Remove skin from chicken because that's where the...
It's the nicest bit though, isn't it? It does taste good.
Yeah, I suppose it does, but... And I guess that all these things go with the caveat that if you're still going to be underneath your calorie cap, it's kind of okay, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is.
Yeah.
All things in moderation.
All things in moderation.
Absolutely.
Right.
Also, I think you've got one of them jugs, haven't you? A fat separating jug.
A fat separation jug. What I'll do is I'll go and film it in a second, and I'll put a cutaway at this point so that people can see exactly what it does. But
yeah. That's a great piece of kit, isn't it?
You put your meat juices in it, and the fat goes to the top, but the juices come to the bottom, but the spout goes in at the bottom, so that when you pour it out, it pours the juices out and leaves the fat in the jug. Very clever. I use it. I do actually use that all the time. Yeah. So let me put, what was that? Fat separation jug.
Yeah.
And if you're doing a stew or a soup that contains something that's got fat in it, very often the fat elevates to the surface.
Yeah.
You can spoon it off, can't you?
You can.
Spoon off fat.
Or do what we did with the corned beef and just scrape the fat off the side.
Which is you remove, that was one that you said remove visible fat. So we're already up to 9 already. So what's number 10?
Well, and I've got something wrote down here because I was thinking about this previous. And
you cheated?
So I've sort of cheated, but it's about salt, and it's some statistics that 89% of men...
Are these salt statistics?
Yeah.
Say that again.
89% of men...
You say salt statistics.
Salt statistics.
Right.
And 69% women eat too much salt. So try and avoid too much salt, because even though it's not a weight loss tip, it is a good thing for, if you're overweight, you're likely you could have high blood pressure as well. So avoiding salt.
I get you, because salt can aggravate high blood pressure. So cut down on salt.
Yeah.
And funnily enough, I have low blood pressure, and I was talking to my GP practice this week, and they told me to consider increasing the amount of salt.
Right.
So salt does have an effect.
A lot of people, and most of the salt people have, isn't salt that they put onto something, it's already in the products.
Right.
So we've said, haven't we, read the labels, and I think that could be a cooking tip as well.
I think so,
read the labels.
Let's put some flesh on the bones though. That's number 11. When we say read the labels, what do we mean?
Well, the labels are fantastic and they've certainly evolved over the years, because it will say on the label what your recommendation of salt is daily and how much salt is in that product, what your recommendation of fats are and how much is in there, what your recommendation of calories are and what is in there. They also introduced a traffic light system, so they've got 2 different systems whereby they put red, orange or green. And obviously green is good and red isn't good.
So you get the absolute amount of fat or salt in the product. So then you get the percentage per 100 grams.
Yeah.
And then you also now get this traffic light system.
Yeah.
And again, I'll find a tin in the cupboard and we can demonstrate that as a little side video.
Yeah.
So read the labels. And okay, I mean, you made the point before. Be careful about labels because sometimes it says low fat or reduced fat.
Yeah.
Tell me, explain to me.
Well, these things have no definition in law. Something that says lower fat just needs to be lower fat. But if you're having if you've got a pack of butter and it says a lower fat butter, pure butter is quite fatty. So lower fat isn't particularly, it's not low fat, it's just slightly lower. So of course having that is going to reduce your calories, but do not be drawn into thinking, I've seen it before, people say, them go-ahead biscuits, for instance. So we had a digestive biscuit with a cup of tea before. 71 calories in a digestive biscuit. You can get biscuit bars that might say on them, go-ahead or lower calories. And it might be 50 calories per one. And people think that gives them permission to have 3 of those.
Right.
Well, if you have 3 of those, it's actually more. Yeah. It's actually more calories than having 2 of the normal digestive biscuits.
So that's one of your main rules, really, isn't it? Measure things and keep a count and keep a check of things.
Know your numbers.
Know your numbers. I mean, is that a cooking tip? Know your numbers. We'll put it down.
I think it is.
Put it down anyway. Know your numbers. What do you know about booze? I mean, I always have a bit of booze in a food. Yeah, booze. As in alcohol.
Oh, booze.
Yeah. What did you think I said?
I thought you said boobs. I don't know anything about boobs.
It's not that type of channel, this. What do you know about alcohol?
Well, alcohol is empty calories. So it's got no nutritional value whatsoever, alcohol. So any calories you have from alcohol is obviously just a waste, really.
So what should we say about alcohol then?
Well, I think what we would say is all things in moderation. I'm not a big drinker, so it doesn't really bother me. But, for instance, in a pint of beer or a pint of cider, there will be more calories than there would be in, say, having a glass of wine or a short.
Right.
A pub measure of short is around 50 calories.
Right.
Say a pint of cider or lager will be 250 calories.
So basically dilute your alcohol. So I was out with my mum. It's very rare that we go to a bar. I was out with my mum and she had a white wine spritzer.
Oh, nice.
So it's wine with, I think, soda water. And it made it twice as big. It lasted twice as long, but it only had the same calories in. So I suppose dilute your drinks. I was aware that beer had more calories than gin, but during the lockdown, we were having a gin and tonic every night, but we weren't measuring it.
No.
So that's the thing. So now if I, because this is the other thing about gin and tonic, I actually can't taste the difference between gin and tonic that's got one gin in it or a double gin in it or one that's just been glugged. So I'm quite happy to just have a single gin and tonic. And has that got less calories in than a double gin and tonic?
Well, yes.
Clearly.
Yeah.
So measure your portions. I suppose measure your portions is the same for food as well as alcohol, isn't it?
Yeah, and what I would say about alcohol as well is that drinking too much alcohol leads to poor decisions about food.
Right.
Because if you're a bit tipsy, you might think, oh, I'm not bothered anymore. Or if you're a bit tipsy and you've had a night out, you might think, well, I'll have a doner kebab now. I mean, that's what doner kebabs were invented for, people that are drunk.
Yeah. Now I did have a look at the difference between crisps and tortilla chips, and that's going back to your other video about alternatives.
Yeah.
Can you remember if there's? I think tortillas are like a half the fat of half the calories of crisps. because they're more corn and baked.
Yeah.
But again, it's another one of them, isn't it? Read the labels.
Quite possibly, and you've probably seen the adverts on television where it says, this bag of crisps is 98 calories.
Nachos, not tortillas. Nachos. Sorry.
You might have seen the adverts on TV. Says this bag of crisps is 98 calories, but there's only about 6 crisps in the bag, and that's why they're 98 calories. So again, all things in moderation. But if you're the kind of person that can't open a bag of crisps and then eat them, enjoy them, savour the flavour,
right,
and really enjoy them, and you have to open another one afterwards, then it's not worth having them.
I think savour the flavour is a great tip, actually.
It is.
Write that down. Yeah, all right, savour the flavour, yeah. And also, when talking about going back to the nachos, savour the flavour, and also going back to the nachos was about the dip, the actual dip that you have. Because in the back of my mind, you said something about dips.
Yeah, dips. The darker the dip, the better it is. That's a general rule.
Tell me why.
Well, darker dips are probably tomato based or barbecue type based, which are a lot less calories than the creamy based ones. So the lighter the dips, the more calories they have in,
right,
because they're more creamy base.
Yeah.
Do you understand that?
I do get that, yeah, absolutely. Perfect. Makes perfect sense, thank you. So we're up to 18 already.
Unbelievable.
Any more cooking tips?
Well, I did do a list before we met, if that's all right. Can I just glance at my list?
Yeah, go for it,
okay?
yeah.
Just
and I thought, well, if you do
else.
something in the oven, you can actually put it on a rack and let the fat drop off from underneath. So even if you're doing something in the oven or the grill, you can elevate it on a rack, and it allows the fats to drop off. Bacon is a prime example.
Yeah.
If you cook bacon in the frying pan, it's sitting its own.
Yeah, exactly.
And absorbing it. So use a rack and use a grill, yeah?
Yeah, that's a great idea. I mean, what I would say if you're cooking something like a chicken, though, is, keep the juices, use the juices, because they really do make the gravy very nice if you're making
the fat
a gravy.
separation jug.
Yeah, and use that fat separation jug. Jug.
I think the other thing is, there's also a sort of a temptation to have a glass of wine while you're cooking. I'm probably giving the impression that I'm a loser, and I'm not. But you open your bottle of wine when you start cooking, don't you? It's becoming an alcohol thing rather than a cooking tip.
Yeah.
Have we got any more cooking tips?
I would say that, I suppose this is more of an eating tip really, but I would say that, if you are having a meal that you've cooked and you've got the portion control right, and you've made sure that you've got a decent portion, when you're full, stop eating.
Right.
Because people, and it's against our nature to throw, when I was a kid, man, someone in Africa would eat that. Yeah. And it's against our nature to throw food away. But I say it's better in the waste than on the waste sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a waste of calories just to eat it for the sake of eating it.
Yeah.
And we all do that. We're overfaced by a big meal, and we don't want to waste it.
Stop when you're full. You've always said as well, have a glass of water.
Absolutely, because according to the scientists, now I'm not an expert at these things, but according to the scientists, the brain doesn't know the difference between being hungry or thirsty.
And that's according to the scientists.
Yeah. So it might be that you're actually thirsty, not hungry.
Right. I also just thought of another thing which sprang into my mind about choosing medium sliced bread instead of thick sliced bread. You're still having 3 slices, but it's less quantity. Yeah. And also medium eggs instead of large eggs.
Yeah, yeah. And you can actually eat a lot more volume. I think we've said before, you get a 100-gram bar of chocolate, which you could quite easily eat. That's 500 calories. What kind of volume could you have with that 500 calories of, say, that would be 2 tins of baked beans. Imagine having 2 tins of baked beans in a bowl compared to a 100-gram bar of chocolate, which isn't a lot.
No, you're not full on that.
And you wouldn't be full after the chocolate.
Yeah. Talking of getting full, protein makes you full quicker, doesn't it?
It does. They did years ago. They did an experiment on locusts, where they just fed them on
what?
Locusts.
Right. Okay.
Where they fed them on carbohydrates, and they carried on, they ate and ate and ate until they got enough protein in their bodies. So there is a school of thought that says that actually when we're craving food, we're actually craving protein, and we will continue eating carbohydrates till we get enough protein. If you buy 5 packs of sliced ham, for instance, a pack of chicken or something like that, you sit at home and start eating it, it really fills you up. And I know you were doing something with protein and talking about protein.
Yeah.
It fills you up, doesn't it?
Yeah, I suppose it does. I mean, what if you had 7 sizzling sausages? Say that for me.
No.
Right. We've actually got 24 cooking and calorie tips there.
I bet there's more. I bet you could find some more and let us know what they are. So why not put a comment below or make your own little video. And for this week, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell.
And also like the video, because the way the YouTube algorithm works is if somebody clicks like, YouTube sees that as a signal that it's a good video, and it will share it for us, for Charlie.
And if we get enough likes this week, I'll put my teeth in next week. Goodbye.
Bye for now.